डर सबसे बड़ी ताकत होती है।
Bakristan, a place where mornings didn't just bring light, they brought hope, a fresh beginning. The people here were different. They didn't just feel happiness, they shared it. Laughter echoed through every street, care lived in every neighborhood, and in every heart there was a quiet sense of peace. This wasn't just a city, it was a feeling. And then, from within this peace, someone began to rise. Chief. At first, he was just an officer, a man doing his duty. But with time, something began to change. People stopped seeing him as just an officer and started seeing him as someone they could rely on. Children gathered around him, finding comfort in his presence. He would kneel down to listen, place his hand gently on their heads, and become part of their small, simple joys. In those moments, he didn't feel like a protector. He felt like someone who belonged. Slowly, his influence began to spread. Every street, every neighborhood, every heart. People spoke of him with respect. His name carried weight. The elderly prayed for him. The weak saw him as their strength, and the broken saw hope in him. Bakristan began to believe that everything was finally right. Far away, behind the grand palace walls, the king watched it all. There was peace on his face, but also a quiet thought. Was trusting one man this much truly the right decision? But seeing the happiness of his people, he chose silence. But there is a rule of this world. Where there is light, there is always a shadow. And one night, that shadow finally fell upon Bakristan. The night grew deeper. The moon hung faint in the sky. The air was cold. The streets were silent. And in that silence, a small child walked alone. His steps were slow, as if lost in thought. Suddenly, he stopped. He turned around, slowly. But there was nothing there. Only darkness. And then a shadow appeared behind him, moving closer. No sound, no scream. And then everything went still. Morning arrived, but this time the warmth was gone. A mother ran through the streets, her voice breaking. She looked at every face, asking the same question: where is her child? A father knocked on every door, his breath heavy, fear deep in his eyes. Slowly, people began to gather, and unrest filled the air. And then, Chief stepped forward. His presence alone seemed to calm the chaos. He raised his hand, and silence followed. There was certainty in his voice, as if nothing was beyond control. He made a promise. The child would be found, and without question, the people believed him again. Night returned, but this time, the silence felt heavier. And then, a scream tore through the darkness. People ran, doors slammed shut, and then, fire. Flames spread everywhere, homes burned, and panic took over the streets. And once again, Chief appeared. He walked straight into the fire, fearless. He fought, every move precise, almost as if he already knew. And slowly, the attack stopped. The city was saved, the people survived, and only one name echoed: Chief. The king gave him more power, and from that moment, everything began to change. More soldiers, more control. The people believed they were safe, but in reality, they were slowly losing their freedom. And somewhere, in the darkness, Chief stood watching, looking over the city, a faint smile on his face, as if everything was going exactly as planned. The game has just begun.